I think we are ready for the third and final question, gentlemen. And that is, what needs to happen more, or what needs to happen less? That's also fine by me. I think I'll let Rob go last, because he can wrap it all up if you can wait for that, Rob. But I'll just start with, who wants to start? What needs to happen now, gentlemen? What is it that we are not doing enough and we need to speed it up? And world-class maintenance, why aren't you on this?
I'll start.
Yes, of course, Johan.
Okay, basically, I think what needs to be done is also looking at AI in the interpretation of the dashboards. That can be a good benefit to actually see, to provide the knowledge base and interpretation action on the dashboards that can provide added benefit. Okay.
Yeah. Well, visualization is a big topic within AI in general.
Yes.
You're saying make smarter maps.
Yes. Yes. And then also the modeling can be quite significant to build in models, predictive models for different type of equipment, and also doing RCM and root cause analysis and things like that as not as a special task, but as a de facto part of a system. It will provide you directly the inputs that needs to be done. Yeah. So the dashboards
systematically, always.
Yeah. Then furthermore, one major problem that everyone mentioned already is the integration of systems. And that's where we specialize quite a lot in the integration of our system with a lot of other systems, and to provide a format to actually get data transferred and to actually determine how to determine ownership of a specific parameter. And what does it mean? There's also the map between what available information is all the systems, integrated or not, and what does the actual user of the dashboard want to see. You mentioned the GIS on the energy network. So that is part of the implementation. So we've got the GIS on the system too, but you'd like to see basically on the dashboard where the problems is on the GIS. You would like to see what is the technical parameters regarding the pipes. So all the information must be in the system.
Yeah.
It must be integrated.
That's before you know, we move to the round table on VR, AR, and digital twins. Because the standard conclusion from any of our round tables is that actually the other round tables are really relevant for this round table. But thanks for now, Johan. I saw Amir nodding his head several times when you were talking. Is that just because there's nothing else left to say, or
I think because he touched on a really good point with AI and actually interpreting your data, because what we have now is we're building all these systems and gathering all the information that we need, cleaning them up and loading them. But you want to load them in a way that you are able to use them 10 years from now in a better way. I talked a bit about my text analytics algorithm. I talked with Roland about that in the VCM course. And what I'm trying to do is, it's not an issue in the industry that the technician or the maintenance engineer or the service leader doesn't have the information. It's often that they have a lot of information and they don't exactly know where to put it. And a lot of the information is text. A lot of it is verbal, maybe speech. But if someone can write a comment or any piece of paragraph, it's a endeavor to go through all of it and read it and analyze it. But if you can have a way to group it and compare it to each other with some text analytic AI, you can better identify what were the actual root causes of a failure, or is one failure related to the next occurring one. So in my current dashboard, I'm working on a function where I look up what is the current failure of an asset. I try to find the earlier occasion of a failure on the same asset, and I compare, is the failure class the same? And then if it is the same, then I provide immediately the description of the last technician that was on site.
Yeah, cool.
And that way you have your technicians talking to each other through a system. And once they see that it has benefit to them, they're more eager to fill it in, and they understand the general loop of the system. Because all in the diagram we saw, people think yet another system, but I try to make it more of yet another tool in your tool belt that you could use, rather than yet
Yeah.
another thing you have to work with and fill.
Make the field engineer the hero. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of the system. Yeah. Yeah, good point. Yeah, also my academic colleagues in AI, very few of them actually work on the kind of numerical analysis that we do. Almost all of them are either in text or in patterns or in vision or whatever. And it seems that we, what we call AI to them is, whoa, yeah, we used to do that way back in the past, you know, so we need to catch up there. That's indeed true. Who wants to go next? Sander, what needs to happen?
Based on, I think also on the discussion we had is, okay, all the different data coming from all the different systems. I think it must be secured. Okay, what is Johan was already explaining. Okay, who is the owner? Who makes sure the data quality stays up to a level that you can say, okay, this data can tell me something. It's being displayed properly. And next to that, I also think, because of some of the colleagues here, we call them maintenance engineers, but 3/4 of their job is handling data. I think jobs are moving and shifting from purely being an engineer to also data scientist being included. And maybe from an academic point of view, that should be somewhere incorporated in your training, your or your education whatsoever. I think that's maybe a good next step. Those two.
Yeah, completely agreed. There is no course on AI in maintenance offered at any Dutch university today, but hopefully next year there will be. Thanks, Thomas. You realize that the majority of the Nobel Prize winners are people who move from another field to the field where they win the Nobel Prize because they bring a new perspective. Just want to raise the bar a little bit. Now you say, hey, I'm new to this field. So what is it that struck you most when you entered this great field of at Eneco of this performance measurement? So and also, so what needs to happen more or less?
Yeah. Well, I can really agree on what Sander just mentioned about the IT system and the integration of different data, because that's for me, it's really far-fetched, and it's a really challenge for us, because if we want to have something change in the IT system, because we want to have more relevant data, sometimes it just takes ages before we can have something done, because we're such a big organization with many different systems, and that's difficult. So if we have more of a background with data and IT, I think that would be very helpful in the future as a maintenance engineer. On the other hand, from my own perspective, I mean, I'm really the practical kind of guy. You know, I worked on a ship, so yeah, I want to fix something, but for me, it's really the connection between the two work floors. On the one hand, you have the management, the asset management, the guys, and on the end, you have the field engineers who do the work in the field. And I think it's really important that these two can still communicate together, and that it's not all about a dashboard, which everyone is staring about, but they have a common goal together. And I think that's also what Amir already a little bit mentioned. Keep everybody connected in that sense. I think that's really important.
Yeah, that we don't have a new politburo with data, but actually it's indeed the everybody's app that we're using, and it makes it just a really cool tool that you can use rather than something from corporate that you have to. That's not where we need to go to. Yeah. Okay. Rob, I asked you to go last because I need somebody who comes last, who sort of integrates and swipes up everything. So a humble task, perhaps, but a very important one, and one I know that you're usually pretty much up to. So could you please tell us all what we need to do, Rob?
I listened to your stories, and basically in all the 4 stories to tell, there is something which we are looking for, and that's some kind of a predictable tool based on KPIs, based on AI, which helps us to get to the next level of risk-based activities, that we really can learn from the RCA and from current failures, like you mentioned, Amir. That's what we need, and then make the transfer into some kind of not of lagging indicators as KPI, but leading indicators, which helps you to understand why the pump or the system is not working well, or the gas meter at home is not doing well, or the heating at home is not doing well. So that's definitely we need. And also to become, as Johan mentioned, to some kind of prescriptive level of activities. That's also quite valid. And yes, you need a secure system. You need secure data quality to get to this level, and that's what Sander raised in his story. If you have that well organized and you exactly know who is the owner of the data, you can use the data. And summarized, I think the story of Thomas is keep it simple, just as on a boat. Roll up your go into an activity mode. Keep it simple. So that's what I learned. So for us, from business perspective, it's very important to get KPIs which indicates you the future state of your equipment or of your assets. That's what we need.
Yeah. And so we are back at indeed. Thank you, Rob, for several of the other topics in these roundtables, such as condition-based maintenance and degradation models. And it's nice that although we try to, with the best intentions, cut up this whole field of smart asset management into 14 nice little bits, in the end we find it's all interconnected. Thank you all very much for yet another great session.